Hello. Today I'll be talking about prompting. And first of all, we'll start off with what is a prompt. And a prompt is a specific form of assistance, such as instructions, gestures, demonstrations, touches, or other things that we do or arrange before a learner attempts a skill. And we do those things, we use these prompts to increase the likelihood of a correct response. Prompting is important because prompts can be provided and removed so that the learner can begin performing skills independently. And so the prompt hierarchy, there's 6 different prompts. So there's full physical, partial physical, modeling, gestural, verbal, visual, and natural cue, which would be independent. And so, as you can kind of see with here, moving from the bottom to the top, would be most intrusive prompts to least intrusive. So most to least prompting. All right. And so now to kind of go over those different kind of prompts. So the most intrusive. So we'll be going, as I said, most to least intrusive. Starting off with full physical. A full physical prompt is physically guiding the client's hand to complete the task thoroughly. For example, after telling a client to touch their nose, physically putting your hand on theirs and guiding it to their nose. Then next is a partial physical, providing some assistance to guide the client through part of the activity, such as telling a client to clap their hands and then touching their hands slightly and then it's like starting the movement towards the hands to meet each other to start the clapping, but not full hand grabbing and bringing it all the way, bringing their hands in. And modeling is demonstrating the prompt first and then asking the client to repeat the task. So an example of this would be showing them how to roll a ball and then giving them a ball to then roll it. So first you would roll it to them and then you can ask them and then they would repeat that. And next is gestural, which is pointing, reaching, or nodding to give information about the correct response. For example, if there are 2 objects on a table and you ask them to grab the car and then you pointed to the car, the pointing would be the gestural prompt. And next is verbal, giving the direction more than once or telling the client the answer. And it can also include giving a verbal cue, such as the beginning sound of the answer. And an example of this would be presenting a ball to the client and saying "buh" to help get the response of ball. So you're saying that first part of ball, just saying "buh" to help them to say ball to get that response. Next is the visual prompt, and this would be a picture or cue that the client sees that provides information about the correct answer, such as a visual schedule, video, photograph, drawing, flashing a card with the right answer. For example, asking a client which animal says meow and showing them a picture of a cat. And then next is the natural cue or independent, which is the client completing the task without any further help, without any help. So it's, for example, if you ask a client to grab a book off the shelf and then they get up and grab the book off the shelf without any more prompts or you saying anything else. So the prompt hierarchy can be used for most to least or least to most, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Most to least is often used when teaching a client a new skill or something that they don't have the skills beforehand to accomplish that skill, to do that skill. And then least to most is used when you know the client is capable of the skill. And then, for example, an article that I found used least to most. So the article is by DiCarlo and colleagues. And so they used most to least to increase student compliance to their teachers in preschool classrooms, and as a result of using the least to most prompting, they found an increase in compliance with those students. And so they used least to most because they knew that the kids were capable of compliance. They just needed a little, sometimes they would need extra prompting, and so they would start with the least, such as the visual prompt or verbal. And then if compliance still wasn't seen, then they would move forward from there. Yeah, and that's all I have about prompting. Thank you.